Hi guys, I'm going to do another Emma Explains to follow up from my last video, which was all about why kids are obsessed with unboxing. If you liked, shared or commented on that one, thank you. There were some really interesting discussions about it and I found it so fascinating. I was in quite a few mums forums chatting to mums who couldn't believe that there were other people out there whose children also watched these unboxing videos. I can assure you, you are definitely not alone. And today I want to talk about really parenting digital kids and how you cope with some of those tensions that occur between parents and children and exactly why they occur. So to start off with, I'm going to do something that you may not like, that may be unpopular, but I'm going to take the side of kids in the debate on how much screen time and how much digital play children should have access to. So one thing I want to get across is that when you're approaching this subject of technology in the home, it's really important to remember that both you and your child are coming at this from completely different planets. So us as parents are evaluating this situation and comparing it to a childhood that we had that no longer exists. So a child is born into a house where there are digital devices, they see them as babies, they touch them as babies, they interact with them as toddlers, they grow up with them as children. They are around them from when they are born and they know no other life before these things existed. And that's really quite critical to remember, because I think it can be very frustrating for parents when having conversations / arguments with their children about how much time they're spending on these things and how much they're restricting them. Because if you think about other physical toys in the household, how much are they being monitored, restricted? How many rules are being put against them? Often it's non-physical toys are open access to children. Now that can be confusing and frustrating for children because for them physical, digital, offline, online is all one world. So if you think of the things in the house as all of them as entertainment devices, kids see them, in a very non-linear way, whereas us as adults still very much see screen time, non-screen time, digital play, non-digital play, whereas children do not. So imagine yourself as a young child who is still trying to articulate themselves, who is still learning how to form an argument, who is born into a world where all of this stuff is available to them, but is often pulled away or restricted in a way that they don't understand. I think one of the things I would really stress is that it is a form of play. When we look at children on technology, we don't look at them like they are playing in the same way that we look at them with a physical toy. When we see them building Lego or when we see them doing arts and crafts, we have a positive feeling there. We have a memory, we have a nostalgia, we understand what they are doing and we're able to make sense of it, and we're able to draw ideas of how that's benefiting them or how that is socially beneficial to them. When we see children on devices, we don't really know as parents, is that really doing anything good for them? Actually, is it doing something harmful to them? There's an insecurity there, and that anxiety breeds fear. I'm going to give you a few hopefully helpful tips on parenting digital kids. And before I do, I think if you're watching this and you have older children, particularly perhaps if you've got tweens or teens at home, I really think that everyone should sort of say thank you to you guys, because you really have been the pioneers, if you like, or the guinea pigs of how to parent this type of stuff. You've had no guidance, no real social norms, no parents yourself that have parented this to either do the same as what they did or do something different. This really is new territory for everyone. So I think you guys, as the first guys that coped and managed with this, well done, because I know what a minefield it is. The first tip that I would say is to get involved with the thing that your child likes to do on technology, to play it with them, to talk to them about it, to understand what it is they like about it, to show an active interest in it. If you think about, at Christmas or a birthday, when a child gets a new toy, chances are you're going to get it out of the box with them, you're going to help them build it, you're going to play with it, you're going to ask some questions about it, you're going to want to know what its name is, you're going to have some sort of dialogue there with your child about that plaything. The same thing should be applied to a digital form of play. Ask them what the game is, tell them to teach you how to play it. If you can play 2-player, great. If you can cuddle up and watch them play it, great. They will have a real sense of pride and satisfaction in sharing with you a part of that world that they enjoy. The second point I'd make is don't overly concern yourself with filling the tablet in particular with tons of educational stuff. I think there is an association that's been built that the tablet can be great for young children and educational benefits, which it is, and it really can, and there are some amazing apps out there that do that sort of stuff. But remember what I said at the beginning, it is part of their play universe. Do not fear if what they are doing on it is games and colouring and those sorts of things. They will get much more benefit out of them in terms of relaxation and socialisation and enjoyment out of doing more of those apps. Even in something like Angry Birds, there's stuff going on there. There's a sense of understanding distance, there's a hand-eye coordination. Don't turn one of their playthings into an academic tool. The third thing I'd say is when it comes to rule setting, the most common thing for us parents to do is screen time. We have time slots for when you use devices, rules of when they can turn it on, when they can turn it off. Practically, as a parent myself, I understand how that can work really well. You can use that as a bribe, you can use that as a reward, you can use that to fit in around your schedule. The only point I'd make about that is what it continues to do is it continues to separate technology out from normal life, which is ultimately the reason why we often have tensions with technology anyway. So if the technology becomes about screen time in these kind of little moments where everything else stops and they focus in on the screen, then, and that's the kind of behavior that you're encouraging. For children, they see technology, like I said, more as part of the wider universe that they exist in. So for them, dipping in and dipping out is a bit more normal. Now, I know you're probably watching this going, that's not going to work on my child. They would just be glued to it 4 or 5 hours a day if I let them. And yes, absolutely. If your kids are glued to anything, if they were playing, Lego or doing a jigsaw puzzle for 6 hours a day, you'd probably want to break that up too. It is ultimately all about balance, but I just wanted to make that point that, screen time really is emphasizing that point of making the technology use more abstract, turning it into more of a bubble that exists outside daily life, and that's where a lot of these tensions are bred from. The fourth point I'd make is if you're going to put any rules around technology, make sure that you yourself can stick to them. Now, I am a self-confessed smartphone addict. I love my phone. I'm on it way too much, and actually this year have really tried to make a conscious effort to get off it more because of this reason. If I'm going to set any rules about what the children are or are not allowed to do with screens, I need to be able to make sure that I can hold up those rules as well. So I think that is absolutely fundamental to any rule you are setting. If you are making rules around don't be on your phone when you talk to people, don't have devices at the table, don't be distracted if you're doing something with the family, ask yourself, are you abiding by those rules too? And finally, safety is of course a huge concern. It's one that I have myself. I think about it more the older that the kids get. There are tons of practical things that you can do out there. There are settings that you can have on your computer. You can stick to certain sites. Apps are really safe because they're in a closed environment. But one thing I would say is have a conversation with your kids as early as possible about being safe on the internet. You know, I see it very much like a busy road that they have to learn how to cross. They need to learn where the zebra crossings are. They need to learn how to step back if the traffic's moving too fast, if something dangerous is coming at them. And the earlier you can have those conversations, then the better. So if you're trying to balance all this at home and you're trying to make sense and work out how to parent digital kids, hopefully this has been helpful. Remember, they are not coming at this problem from the same place as you are. They have no memory of not having these things around them. Remember to get involved, ask them about it, show an interest, look at that device like it is another toy and try and treat it in the same way as you might with another child's plaything. And finally, you know, teach them to be safe, have conversations about this stuff and practice what you preach. Can you stick to the rules that you set yourself? If not, maybe it's time for some new ones. Please share, like, comment, join the conversation on my Facebook page. All the details are below. Click subscribe and I will see you next time.